In this video, we're going to look at a couple more examples from section 6.5 about complex rational expressions. So here's the first one we're going to look at. I think a lot of the problem that we have when we went over this in class was finding the least common denominator of all four terms. So I'm going to write out the four denominators. We have 4x, 4, and x. And we want to take the least common denominator of 4 and x. Least common multiple, least common denominator, is the smallest number that two numbers divide into evenly. So it has to be equal to or greater than the numbers. Or if you're dealing with algebraic expressions with variables, again, it's the smallest variable expression that each of the variable expressions divides into evenly. So the best way to do this, if your numbers were different, you would write out the prime factorization of each number and make sure you got everything in your least common denominator. And with our variables, we want to make sure we get the highest degree. So if one of these were an x and one of these were an x squared, we would take x squared for our least common denominator. But here we just need to make sure that we get the 4 and the x. And what we'll do is we will take our original expression and we will multiply each and every term by 4x over 1. And when we do that, we will go through one at a time and we will say, okay, the 4's divide out, and I'm left with x squared. The x's divide out, and I'm left with minus 16. The 4's divide out, and I'm left with x. The x's divide out, and I'm left with plus 4. And then this one I'm going to have to factor the top. It's the difference of squares, so it factors to plus and minus of the square roots. And we have the x plus 4 in the bottom. And these are going to cross out because they are common factors. And our final answer will be x minus 4. So this next one I want to look at, it's a little more complicated, but we're just going to take this step by step. Again, we're going to write down each of the denominators. 6b cubed, 9b squared, 6b, and 9b cubed. Now the easiest part to do of this is the variable part, because we take that variable we have, that b, and that's in our least common denominator, to its highest degree. And its highest degree is 3. So now we have to deal with the 6 and the 9. And 6 is 2 times 3, and 9 is 3 times 3. So we have to make sure we get in that 2 times 3 for the 6. We already have one of the 3's from the 9, but we have to get that other 3 in there. So that we have the entirety of 9 in our least common denominator and the entirety of 6 in our least common denominator. So when we multiply this out, we will get 18. So our least common denominator was going to be 18b cubed. And we will multiply each and every term by 18b cubed over 1. And I will pause it while I do this. Okay, so now that we have written this out, we're going to go ahead and cross out common factors. So these two both have a b cubed top and bottom. 6 goes into here once and into here 3 times. So with that first term, we're left with 3a. This next one, b squared, that leaves us with a b up top. And 9 goes into 9 once and 18 twice. So we have 4 times 2b, which is plus 8b. And here b goes in here once and it goes into b cubed b squared times. And 6 goes in here once and in here 3 times. So we'll have 5 times 3b squared, which is 15b squared. And here the b cubes are going to cancel out. 9 goes in here once and it goes in here twice. So we'll have minus 2. There is no way to reduce that, so that is our answer as is. So again, to reiterate with finding the least common denominator or the least common multiple of the denominators, you want to take your variable part, and if it has more than one variable in it, that's fine, but you want to take that to the highest degree of the variable. And then the numbers, you use the prime factorization to make sure that you get all the numbers. Okay? So I hope that those couple examples help you get this section squared away a little bit better.